informed decision.
Yeah.
And I don't,
Let's, I don't think we should just move on from the subject. I agree with you.
you know, so it's,
What else can be put on the table? I mean, we've heard
What's
pro and con, we've
What's the
heard.
issue with waiting until next year? And so we could try to get the right.
That's a great point, because there's no, are there any subdivisions other than this other one, Anthony Road,
Well,
that are ready before you now?
let me respond to that if I may. There is no gun to our head, no, to do this. However, you know, one of the things about the time right now is that there is almost no development going on right now, and everybody knows that. So anything that happened from this point on, this would be in place. And when and if the economy approves, that's a big if, of course. If the economy approves, then everything would begin to happen with this in place, and purchase prices and development of this situation would be predicated on this particular bylaw. If you believe what the economists say, waiting a year is not gonna change things much at all, so I really don't see a big issue with doing that. And I mean, if you wanted to work on more incentives or something like that, that would be fine. But it's just the danger is, waiting until things really start to move and then trying to do something like this would make it a lot more difficult.
I think a combined workshop,
Yep.
you know,
Yeah.
this board, your board, zoning board of appeals, anybody else who's interested,
Yeah.
is critical if we're going to be proposing something like this for the community.
If
And
we-
really looking forward as to what are we gonna do and how are we gonna meet our affordable needs, or are we just trying to stem the tide? You know, what is our true goal here, you know? I think, first of all, we need to establish that. What are we really trying to do? Are we trying to meet that 10%?
We're trying to
Meet our
10%,
obligation?
But we're also trying, but we're
And how
also-
realistic is that? Can it really be done?
It is realistic,
You
but
know.
we're also, because again, it's still gonna get these situations that come along that beg a multifamily type situation. As I said, buffer zones between commercial and residential. Multifamily's a great buffer for that. We're gonna get a few of those, and we're gonna look at.
I'd like to see the map. I'd like to see the map of what's available land.
I have it.
Okay, that they're talking about,
Yeah,
you know, where the
yeah.
900 units can be placed.
Yeah.
And really, what can we do locally here to maybe up that,
Yeah.
to get more affordable, or somehow or another,
Well, again, I have
massage
no-
it
I
to
have
make
no
it
problem
fit
with
better
that.
into the community. Because right now, it's still gonna be a catch can. And I don't disagree that, okay, we put in, 7 units and one of them's gonna be affordable, so it's kind of blends it a little bit more and less of a density issue in relation to affordable units, a number of affordable units, or multi-families, 600 units across the street. But I don't see it necessarily achieving our goals. I'm not sure. I'm not convinced yet.
I don't have
I
any
have an awful
problem
lot of
with,
unanswered questions.
with looking at it a little bit longer, and again, I certainly would want the Board of Appeals involved, because we're gonna be, some of this stuff is gonna have issues that require going to them, so, I mean, and which is what we've done already, so, and it works fine, so I don't have any issues with that, and maybe if they wanted to look at putting, more benefits into the bylaw to make it more attractive to developers, but I don't think we wanna kick it too far down the road, because if we do, it's gonna become very difficult to enact, and then we're gonna be subject again to the thing that we don't want.
You're subject, just to make it clear, the only thing I would add is that we're subject to it now. And you're
Yeah,
just gonna go
right now.
online, and they updated all the numbers, and we're at 9.6%
Yeah,
officially.
I'm not worried
So,
about that.
it's just
Because at
more-
9.6%, the state is not gonna shove it down your throat.
We're probably a pretty
They're
good
not gonna do it.
shape, right?
It's not gonna happen.
They
You
better
know, when
start
we were at
picking on some of
2%,
the other towns first.
Right, that's-
when we were at 2%,
zeros in here that are.
we were in trouble.
Quite
know?
interesting.
Right, that's kind of,
But I really think it's important for everybody to be involved.
is everybody on board to the point where we just ask to pass these over
Well,
and?
Do we have to
Put it-
pass over Article 14?
We could do it.
We could do 14, but not pass over
14, but you
15.
got nothing to,
You need, yeah, you just need a
There's no
revenue
funding
source.
source for it.
Yeah, but
Well, there could
if
be.
somebody wants to donate some money, you can put it in there.
Maybe,
never know what
maybe
could
you
come along.
might be coming up with a plan that says that developers, if they put so much a lot, they pay toward that fund,
Right.
What I was kind of thinking of is that, I don't care if it's $10,000 a lot. Somebody says
Yeah.
7 lots, we're not taking your 7th lot, or 6th lot or whatever it is, but we're gonna take $10,000 a lot to go into the pot over here to build affordable housing. That's kind of what I was thinking along the lines, because they are creating the number to creep up, so let them pay a portion of it.
I don't think we actually have to have an answer, but we should put this in place, so
Yes,
it's
that's
sitting
what I'm saying.
there.
If you
Because it
put-
doesn't go away after
No,
we
if
do
you,
it,
if you
right?
put the funding in place,
Yeah.
then if there's something that needs to be passed
If we
to
get-
fund it,
We
then,
can get, we get donations occasionally too.
yes, right,
So we could
Right.
earmark some of that donation to that
Right.
instead of another.
right.
Like our sidewalk,
We don't have a sidewalk fund.
no more.
Ooh, that's deep.
Okay, so,
We've done work
let's,
with
see,
sidewalks, they never appeared, so.
let's see if we can, we'll tackle 15, because we've been discussing, and then we'll go back to 14.
Okay.
Mr. Prisco, you wanna?
I move to pass over Article 15.
Recommend passing over,
Recommend passing.
because they'll be making the motion, it's their article.
That would be us, yes.
Okay, do we hear a second?
Yeah, I'll second that, yeah.
Okay, all in favor?
I want,
Which one?
are you comfortable with that?
Well,
Well,
they
yeah,
can do what
I
they
mean,
want.
No, I know, but it's,
I'd like
my
to see
vote's
it
gonna be,
faster than
Well,
October.
if I may, yeah, I
If you could
think
sneak
that
it in
it's,
June,
I
that'd be
am,
nice.
Sean,
Let's do that.
that we made it clear to you that this is something that we know has gotta be done. Again, a third of the communities in the state are doing it, more every day. That's not by accident, there's a reason, they're looking forward. That's our job to plan, we're looking forward. If we wait too long, it'll get
Okay.
a real big problem, so we need to deal with it sooner rather than later.
Can we commit to June?
I'd like to see it in June,
Wait.
you
Well,
know, it's not a lot of
I
time,
think we should
but-
commit to meeting, I
Right.
mean, I need
Yes,
to be
we can meet-
educated.
We'll meet with
Right.
you.
I need to be educated, when I'm supposed to be better educated than the general populace out there.
Right,
I need to
right.
be educated on this
Right,
stuff.
no.
So my answer is yes.
I received it today.
I'm comfortable with it. We've made everybody aware, that's part of it, the whole part of the deal is to make everybody aware that there are ways, that there are laws, and to give you and again, it is kind of, we did kind of bring it quickly, but at least now everybody's talking about it, and they're thinking about it, and about what the ramifications of it are.
Okay.
And again, keep in mind that if you wait too long and things start to turn around, it's gonna get difficult to do, and then we'll be back in the.
That's why
I think we're in agreement with that. I'd like to thank all of you, and Shep and Paul, because I think it helped bring the whole spectrum of the discussion,
Right.
on both sides of it. And I think that, yes, Heidi?
Can we do it in June? Is that okay? 'Cause
I was
know
just gonna
usually
ask
they
that.
only let us do it in October, so,
Any
so
issue?
I know ahead of time.
They don't
That's
know.
okay.
problem at all.
Like it,
Okay,
None.
all right.
There's no
Okay,
There's
no,
no
that's
legal
good.
issue.
problem. I
Yeah.
mean, there's been a past practice.
Okay,
Right.
I
But we,
know it's,
you know, we've been doing budget items in October,
Right.
so.
I mean,
okay.
we may not wanna put this on the record, but is it really true that we could educate Steve between now and June?
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough.
I was glad Paul showed up, because Paul will take care of that.
Paul,
On
thanks for
Article-
coming out of your pajamas.
Article 14.
I have to
And I-
personally,
I-
I have to
About
personally
50, we
note
never
that we
voted on
really all
15.
moved to 14.
Yeah.
I thought we
Yeah.
did.
Well, Sean,
No, I stopped.
You stopped it, okay. On the motion, all in
Which one?
favor?
on
Pass
15.
over 15.
This was.
Pass over
Recommend,
15.
recommend the pass over.
Yeah, hi.
Aye.
Unanimous. Article 14, do we need further discussion?
Just, when you get contributions now, where do the funds go?
Community Development Fund.
Community Development Fund, which also can be used for affordable housing.
It was established, when I read the literature, to promote community development. So I would have to go
Not
over that with the
definition of
finance
the federal
director.
regulations of community development includes affordable housing, by the way.
If it does,
Is-
perhaps.
Yeah, but it's
This
not
is
for the
clearer.
building of,
That's,
Yeah.
it's not for the building of.
The difference
This
is,
fund is for building.
yeah, well, it's more than that.
Yeah.
well,
The difference is, Steve, that this,
To buy
that this
land.
fund would be a trust fund, which means it very severely limits what it can be used for, as opposed to a community development fund, which is,
and it's
community development.
it would be your committee, because you would
And it
decide,
has,
you
and
would
it has a
establish it.
specific,
right,
set
You would
of
have more
trustees,
control.
not
Do you have a
the
concern with this?
standard
yeah.
trust of trustees. You know, the,
So there's gonna have to be a
Three-person
funding
board.
source that is dedicated to this, which means probably without the inclusionary zoning bylaw that has some method of providing funding for it. It
My
may not be
only-
correct.
One of my questions, and one of the reasons that I'm somewhat reluctant to do this is, do we really want to be in the affordable housing building business?
A lot of towns are, I mean.
I
because-
know,
okay.
but that, I think we need to
Well, I-
answer that question. And not that I'm opposed to
Then
it.
the only way to avoid
But-
that is to say, hey, to give it back to the planning board and adopt the inclusionary law, because then you don't have to get involved, it happens.
If that's the case, yeah, give me the dough.
Well, if the funds were available, then why couldn't the, you know, into this trust, then why couldn't the town just say, okay, here's the spec for a house, we want it on this lot, and put it out to bid like you put other things out to bid?
When you say the town, who do you mean?
I don't know exactly, town administrator, you're not doing anything, are you?
I got nothing on it.
Yeah.
See,
Well, would it be
in
the
this case,
housing
what happens is
partnership,
they
is,
don't.
you know, is it the
Give us
housing
what they
partnership,
want.
is it, you know,
Well, I guess that's a part of the process that we have to talk
would
about.
it be the
but-
housing
But
partnership?
if we have the ability for someplace to put the money, and then we determine that maybe this previous bylaw, we don't need that, what we need is to get money in the pot, okay, the pot's already sitting there. So if in fact, you know, in 3 or 4 months, you can come up with a way of saying, okay, every lot that comes in here, you're paying X amount of dollars, going in the pot, and we'll deal with how to build it out later.
Okay, but I'd also like to hear, you know, what's your formula gonna be, you know,
Right.
is it gonna
Well, yeah,
change later
that-
on, you know, as far as how much you're gonna charge people
Yeah, well,
per
that's
lot?
Right,
Just
right.
establishing,
That's gotta be established.
this is
What we had
establishing
this
a
for,
trust.
Steve.
This is just establishing the trust,
That's right.
not any fees or how the money's getting
We
in.
gave the developer the option to contribute
To
the cost of the house
Yeah, that's it.
to the fund. So we had to have a place for the fund, for that to go. That was the trust.
But the other thing that happens with that inclusionary law is again, the developer becomes the clerk of the works. We don't have to do any of that.
Right.
They make sure that the house.
That's not very encouraging to me.
They make
Yeah.
sure.
Not encouraging at all.
They make sure that the project is
Not
done according to.
encouraging at all.
Well, the building inspector, we have all
Well,
the
yeah,
professional
right.
services
There, it'll be under
people are
control.
involved.
The hour's getting late. We have a
That's
large
fine.
number of items.
Mr. Jones.
Is there anything else to add to it? Mr. Jones?
This trust fund is established, does it not still have to be approved by town meeting for expenditure of funds?
I would think so.
But I believe if it's a town trust fund,
It's owned by
although the trustees may recommend,
Mhm.
the actual expenditure would still have to be through the town meeting, I think. Stand to be
The
correct.
trust don't do that now.
Is there any process that doesn't have to happen?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's one way to mobilize a neighborhood.
Yeah.
That's why we have town
I'm more
meetings.
inclined to think you would have to than not, but I'm not a lawyer and I'm not gonna tell you that's how it is.
Well,
So again, I think
Heard
we're,
it, yeah. So we can just ask.
I think we're establishing something that we don't have enough information on yet.
We could wait, I mean, this
I mean,
is not something that we have.
I was just going on with
Right.
what Paul was saying, I kinda agree with him, that, you know, you guys come along and you find something that's gonna work before June that you can actually implement, you have a place to park it, but if there's some concerns about
Right.
I
the
think we have a place to
legality.
park it.
Coleman and Page was the one that said we
Is-
needed this,
Is this something,
With the bylaw.
with the
I
bylaw.
asked this
I think we should do them together, not separate.
Okay, all right.
I move
I
to
think-
pass
Chairman,
over
I
Article
just think
14
those
and move on.
we have a motion by Mr. Delaney, a second by Mr. Prisco to pass over Article 14. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I was
Unanimous.
thinking of voting no, but, no, I was teasing.
Michael, you own those two articles.
Mr. Chairman, who owns Article 13?
Mr. O'Leary.
Or maybe you can get them with
What was that one? The open space one, that was me.
Okay, on the street acceptances, is there anyone here in the audience concerned with any of those? Dick, are we
That was
pretty
it.
much,
Oh, yeah.
We actually are on one.
are we pretty much okay on these? There was one, I think.
Well, I'm still concerned about the whole lawnmower issue. I think we should go back and talk about that. I think we're all set. I think we
I'm
have,
glad you
a-
still have a sense of humor at this hour.
we have a signature block issue on some of the drawings we have to fix, but other than that, I think we're all set.
Yeah, I reviewed that with Mike today, he made the changes, that's
Except
fine.
for West Village
No,
Drive.
no, I dropped them today.
Yeah, I know, but that was the one that we haven't
That issue's
recommended
all
yet,
set,
and we won't
Dick.
until the night of town meeting.
All right, so what I'm gonna recommend then, if it's okay with the board, that Articles 16 through 25, we just vote all at once.
We already
to
did.
recommend.
We already
West
voted
Village
to
include-
recommend.
include West
No, we
Village.
didn't, no, we signed the
No,
plans.
we
so
signed the
didn't make a-
plans, we didn't, this is his next
Right, it's
step.
different.
This is different.
Okay, and so that recommend doesn't mean anything on this piece of paper.
No,
Okay,
but we may as well ratify it.
Let's ratify it. So I'll entertain a motion on Article 16 through
We're
25.
trying to do some mind reading, Mike.
Yeah, yeah. Move to recommend.
okay.
Do we hear a second?
I
Second.
Oh, good.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Right.
That was missing, I guess.
We gotta-
On Article
we were right.
26,
Sure.
West
He's in favor.
Village,
Okay,
Dick
Yeah.
says that there's just some minor technical
Well,
things,
there's a
what
bunch of
else?
items that from my understanding, talking to, Selectmen today, that basically they've covered all those, they've addressed them all.
Well, I haven't seen